What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Fun of the South. I'm Paul, this is my wife Jill, and for today's adventure we're gonna go check out Elvis Presley's Graceland mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. The camera's rolling, batteries are charged, so let's go see what we see. You ready, Jill?
Yep.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Okay.
Now, Graceland is only just about a block away from the Guest House Hotel. It's not very far at all. Man, when these gates opened, Jill, I was so excited. I was just so excited to get up here and see what I saw.
I know.
I could barely stand it. This room is incredible. I mean, the colors, the peacocks, the stained glass, I mean, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the TVs, every room has a TV. Some of them more than one. The 15-foot couch. Now, this is not a sectional. This is one solid piece. And the table is 10 feet, and it's also a solid piece. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall watching them bring this thing in. When Elvis would come home, he'd come through the front door, and what he liked to do was karate. You see the chandelier up at the top right here? Let me show you something. You see how it's chains that goes all the way around, like these little crystal chains all the way around. Looking good, until you get to this point right here. No chain. That's because Elvis came in, was doing a little karate. I don't know if it was a chop or a kick, but whatever it was, took the chain right off. He was so proud of it, he left it that way, so when people came over, he could tell them, hey look, I kicked this high, and this is the proof. Pretty cool.
Vernon and Gladys's bedroom.
Very fancy.
I like the purple, it really popped.
It did. This room was crazy. This is Vernon and Gladys's bathroom. I love the poodle wallpaper.
Me too.
Gladys's attire, just like she left it. This is the staircase that heads up to Elvis Presley's bedroom. Out of respect for Elvis and his family, it's a private area and no one's allowed. Elvis had this curved wall and these one-way mirrors installed in his house. That way he could look through the mirror and see who was downstairs and decide if he wanted to go down there or not. This photo sits at the bottom of the staircase heading up to Elvis's bedroom. A couple interesting things to note about this photo. Number one, he's holding a bicycle wheel in his left hand. Number two, he has blonde hair. This was Elvis Presley's natural hair color. At the top of these steps on that landing on the left-hand side, there's a door. You go through that door and it goes down the kitchen. We'll show you that a little bit later. On this dining room table is Elvis's and Priscilla's original wedding china. Yet another TV from RCA. Now this one swiveled, so when Elvis was eating, he would swivel the TV towards him so he could watch TV while he was eating dinner. Oh, the artifacts, the decorative artifacts. Fantastic EP stuff everywhere. This marble floor underneath the dining room table is where Lisa Marie was allowed to ride her tricycle in the house. This kitchen was definitely not what I expected. I mean, it was definitely state-of-the-art at the time, but there's a couple things about it, like the carpet in the kitchen. I didn't expect that. I haven't really seen carpet in a lot of kitchens, but this one has it. This is the first microwave in Memphis. Elvis paid $653 for it, and it still works today. They don't build them like they used to. You got the ever-present TV in the background. Surely that's an RCA. Almost every single room in Graceland has two telephones. One is like an intercom. It goes all through Graceland, and the other one is an outside line. The white button that looks like a doorbell right there, what that does is it opens and closes the gates to the front of Graceland. And that box right there with the monitor in it, that's basically like a home security system. Elvis had one of those just like that upstairs in his bedroom. This is the back side of that door at the top of the landing going up to Elvis's bedroom. This is where he would come down the steps and he would walk down this and run into the kitchen, get himself a little something if he didn't want to be bothered with people that were at the house. Very interesting. Like a secret agent man. Secret agent man.
Elvis had a 24-hour kitchen staff.
Yeah, That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly. These stairs are really cool. They're the infinity stairs, and when you go down, there's mirrors on the left wall, on the right wall, and on the roof. Wherever you look, it's like it just goes on forever.
And this is the ice cream soda bar. No alcohol. Elvis wasn't much of a party animal. After all, this was Gladys's house.
I really like this room. This is probably one of my favorite rooms. Elvis had a pet monkey named Scatter. This monkey would drink and smoke, and it was trained to lift up girls' skirts.
Oh boy.
So this is Elvis's music collection. I don't know if this was the whole thing, but man, there's a lot of them here. He liked all kinds of music. And I noticed that the album closest to us is the Shirelles.
Tonight you're mine completely.
It's the shag rug and the toe-busting hearth for me. I'm sure that was his chestnut late at night when you're ready to go to bed.
So Linda Thompson helped him design this room. Her favorite color was yellow, his favorite color was blue. Therefore, you get the yellow and blue room.
I love the TCB lightning bolt in the back, taking care of business with a flash. Oh my gosh, this room is crazy. 750 yards of fabric on the walls and ceiling. And you know, I know you're not supposed to, but I kind of reached up and touched it, and it's almost like a thick denim. But what a cool room, man.
Didn't it take 10 days?
Yeah, 10 days to finish.
10 days to put that on the wall and ceiling.
Yeah. Elvis was a big fan of playing pool. There was a couple things you had to understand when he played pool, though. It was his table, his rules. So when you're playing Elvis in pool, if it was his turn and he didn't like where the cue ball was, he got to move it wherever he wanted, and he did. This ripper in the felt right here was done by one of Elvis's friends, but no one ever fessed up to it, so it's unclear to who did it. Also, Jill, I know you noticed this a little bit earlier. The couches match the walls, so they're made of the same fabric.
They're fantastic. I need those in our house.
Think they'd mind if we borrowed them? So Elvis went to the store to buy this baker's rack, and he said, I love it, I'll take it. So the clerk at the store started taking all the artifacts and stuff off of it. He said, no, honey, you don't understand. I want those too, just like that. That's what I want. So he bought the baker's rack and the decor on it exactly like it was, had it delivered to his house, and that's the way it sits. This room is so iconic, Jill. Elvis's last 2 recordings were done in this room. And when you look in this room, the artifacts in here they're crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but it's so very, very awesome. And if you notice in the back corner here, there's some more monkey statues. I mean, they're everywhere at Graceland. Monkey, monkey, monkey. Too much monkey business.
And that bar apparently was very well stocked.
Which is interesting because EP wasn't a big drinker. But I guess that'd be for guests that came over or whatever.
Yep.
This waterfall that's in the jungle room never really worked good. Or properly, I should say. It worked, but the problem was it would end up flooding out the TV room, the yellow room, and so EP stopped using it, and that's also why it's not running at Graceland, because it still did the same thing for them. So when it's time to take care of the carpet in the jungle room, they don't vacuum it, they rake it. So what exactly did Vernon do in this office, Jill?
Every gift that a fan would send Elvis, he would save it, and it's all in the archive.
He did office things. That's what he did. Took care of office things, supplies, apparently paintings, things like this. It's an office. That was Vernon's. It has Elvis paintings and a couch. This was actually one of my favorite parts of the tour, where they talked about the smokehouse and how Elvis used it as a shooting gallery or shooting range for a time. If you look at this door right here that's open just past the swing set, inside there is a smokehouse. And what he would do is stand up here on this balcony and he would shoot into the smokehouse. So he'd stand up on top of the balcony right there, and that's the smokehouse. He would shoot across the yard into the smokehouse. This is inside the smokehouse right here. Sometimes if you had a plugged up toilet, no need to throw it out, take it to the smokehouse, let's shoot it.
Shoot the crap out of it.
Literally. This is some of the remnants of shooting that they found inside the smokehouse. This vase right here is full of bullet holes, so they finally gave up on it and just filled it with concrete. Looks like Lisa Marie's swing set may have taken one for the team as well. So in the back there, that stable is called the House of the Rising Sun. The Rising Sun was Elvis's Palomino horse. It's actually buried here at Graceland. One thing about Graceland is it will always have a Palomino horse on the grounds. One time, Elvis wanted to show his grandmother a horse, so he brought it inside, and as he was bringing it inside, it crapped all over the floor in Graceland. It was a big mess. What a mess. Such a mess. This is the field back here by the stables, and they used to do a lot of riding back here. Now, if you look to the left of the screen, that's the racquetball court. So when you first go in the trophy room, you'll see this photo right here. This is EP and his mom and dad. EP would have been about 2 years old in this photo. You got some these are just artifacts, that were interesting things in Elvis's life.
Notice his name on the birth certificate.
Elvis. Aaron Presley. Elvis. This is my son Elvis. Come on in, everyone, meet Elvis. I'm wondering if RCA ever ran out of TVs, because man, they'd send them to Elvis every other day. Look at this thing.
It's really cool.
It is cool. I thought this was really, really funny. Upstairs in Elvis's bedroom, no one would ever go. It's not an RCA TV, it's a Zenith, and that's the remote control for it. Here's some artwork that fans had sent into EP, and he didn't throw anything away, man. He saved everything. He loved the stuff he got from his fans. That was fantastic. If you notice up here at the top right, that's an original Thomas Kincaid. Very, very cool. This is Elvis's desk out of his office, and at the time this thing was state-of-the-art. Again, sent from RCA. It had a 8-track player, radio, intercom, all kinds of stuff. This thing was absolutely pimped out, Mac Daddied. Elvis was a big fan of police, and I think in a lot of places, I don't know if he was officially deputized, but he was like deputy or chief or private this or whatever, investigator, blah, blah, blah. So Elvis would drive around Memphis, and in his car he had a blue light. Now, it wasn't a police car, it was a Lincoln. So he'd drive around, and if you were speeding, he'd put the blue light up and pull you over. He'd come up to you and tell you need to slow down, but instead of giving you a ticket, he'd give you an autograph. So this is one of EP's guns. This gun is awesome. This is a 1911, which by the way was his favorite pistol, the 1911. So at any given time, he had 3 guns with him. He had one in his belt in the back, one in the front, and one in his boot. You never know. One of them could fail.
If the boot fits.
Ralph Cohen was a really great painter, and he'd done some portraits of some celebrities and things like that. And Elvis had seen them. And he thought, man, I got to get a hold of this guy. I want him to do my portrait. So he met the guy in Las Vegas, and he said, man, I want you to do my portrait. When can I get with you so you can paint me? He said, well, I already met you, so I'll go ahead and paint you. And Elvis said, okay, that's great. That sounds good. Some time had passed, and Elvis was getting anxious. He wanted this painting. So he called the guy, and he said, listen, I'm going to come pick up the painting. The guy's like, it's not finished. He's like, well, I'm just going to come over. So he came over, and he got the painting. He said, oh, it's fantastic. I love it. And this is what he ended up with. A couple things to notice in this painting that are pretty interesting. At the top, it looks great. You move down to the hand, the right hand, it looks like Thor's hammer. I'm not sure what's happening there. It's huge compared to the other one.
And look at his thigh. Like, one's really skinny. The right thigh is a little bit bigger.
And the really funny thing is you go all the way down, you think, okay, well, I guess I can live with the hand. And you get all the way to the bottom, guess what? No feet. So he brought it home, put it in Graceland. It still sits today where it sat when Elvis brought it home. About once or twice a year, a guest will jump this fence and do a flying cannonball or dive into Elvis's pool. At first I thought this was kind of funny, and then I found out if you do that, you're removed from the property and you're banned from Graceland for life. Another interesting fact is that the lawn furniture you see around the pool here, it's all original. The only thing that's been changed is the cushions. So we're going into Elvis's racquetball court right here, and I'll tell you something, this is a really, really cool building. The first thing you'll see when you walk in there is you're going to see this pinball machine and some other things and a couple of couches. The pinball machine still works, but no one's allowed to play it because Elvis has the last 2 high scores on it, so it's considered a relic. I thought this was really nice. These flowers inside the racquetball court. The tag on them right there says, "In loving memory of Lisa Marie." So the night that Elvis died, he couldn't sleep. He was really excited about the upcoming concert. So at about 4 a.m., he called his cousin Billy and insisted that Billy and his wife Jo come down to the racquetball court to play some racquetball, blow off some steam. So after they horsed around and played for a little while, Elvis decided to move over to the piano and play some music. He played Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and Unchained Melody. When he played those two songs, this would be the last time anyone ever heard Elvis Presley play music.
This is the VIP room. You get to come in here if you take the special VIP tour.
And the great thing is at Graceland, once you take a tour, you can come back and do it as many times as you like. So if it's hot or whatever, and you have the VIP pass, you can go into the VIP room, just relax, have something to drink, maybe look at some of the artifacts. Very, very, very cool experience. Some of EP's jewelry. This watch in here was just awesome. It's a Hamilton Ventura electric.
Was that your favorite thing?
It's one of them, definitely. I mean, you know, he had the first Hamilton Ventura. So in this case right here, you're going to see a couple of really cool things. One, you're going to see the gold key to his Stutz. I think that's how you say it, Stutz car. By the way, interesting story to that. We'll go over that when we go over the museum. He also had a gold Social Security card because paper will just never do.
Here's some badges and Vernon's wallet.
These guns are awesome. Very, very cool. Very, very EP, man. So what they do in the archives room is they bring out some of EP's personal stuff to display, but this room is fireproof, earthquake-proof, flood-proof, pretty much everything proof.
We got to have the white glove experience.
This piano right here was actually played at his funeral. What we got here is we got some of Colonel Parker's personal effects. Now that was his briefcase, and when they got it, it was empty. And the consensus is a lot of people wonder if it was always empty. He just carried it around so that people thought he had stuff in it. No one knows for sure. I guess it's a mystery that just won't be answered. So the funny thing about this helmet is Elvis got many tickets for not wearing a helmet when he's riding his motorcycle, but this particular one he was wearing. Elvis loved to buy fireworks, and they would have fireworks wars in the backyard at Graceland. Well, one day he decided he was gonna put this on to keep himself safe. Good thing he did, because he took a firework to the face, and this was the result. That's what that chip is, right there in the front of that helmet visor. Really cool stuff. You got Elvis's personal wallet right here. Obviously, you can't open it. It's quite old, but you can see the wear marks from when you carried it around all day. And these are Elvis's 24 karat gold reading glasses. So cool.
When Elvis did the Ed Sullivan Show, he went to New York and he got this locket for his mother. She never changed out the picture because it reminded her of when he did the show in New York.
So on the front of this book, you see a phone number. That's the radio station there in Memphis. And his good friend George Klein was the DJ at the time, and he would call in and request these songs written on this book over and over and over again. And finally George said, hey, listen, Elvis, you can't keep calling in and requesting these songs, man. This is a public radio station. We have to play other things. He said, oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. So what he did is he would have his staff call in and request these songs. Kind of mix it up in true EP style. These are Elvis's personal boots, size 12 Italian leather. The left boot around the ankle area is really, really worn out compared to the other boot. And that's because when he would sing, his left leg would, bounce up and down like he did. And then for our white glove experience, we actually got to hold the boots, which was really cool. We were asked to not do a few things. I don't remember exactly what they were, but these things had all been done before.
They asked us not to lick them or cry on them or clank them on the floor or knock them together.
Very interesting that someone would lick these boots.
I did sniff the boot.
What did they smell like?
Leather.
Nice. Out front of Graceland on the gates and all the bricks are messages and little notes and people's names that have come to visit Elvis at Graceland. And I don't know, it was just kind of moving. It was really, really nice to see this. And if you go to Graceland, take some time and just look at some of these names and these people and the messages. They are just absolutely amazing. So did you have fun, Jill?
I had fun.
That was incredible. I mean, some of the stuff in there was amazing.
We went through 3 times.
3 times. I would have done 4, but we just ran out of time, and they started looking at us kind of funny.
We tried to move in, but...
Yeah, she kept sniffing the furniture. They said no. They said no, you can't do that. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Fun in the South. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time on Fun in the South. Bye.
Bye.